While meteorologists have their eyes right now on the tropics as an already busy hurricane season continues. Now, this comes here, of course, amid a pandemic. And last week, North Carolina getting its first test on balancing the two. Spectrum News 1 Washington, D.C. Bureau reporter Kevin Fry checking in with our emergency responders to see how they did.
We can't social distance from hurricanes.
For the first time this year, COVID crossed paths with a hurricane. So how well did North Carolina balance the two? Edward Conroe is the director of emergency services in Brunswick County, where the storm made landfall.
The biggest concern we had was evacuation sheltering. Seemed to go fairly well.
Conroe says sheltering presents a risk because people congregate together, creating the opportunity for the virus to spread. He says they took steps to prevent that, screening people, spreading them out in different rooms, limiting capacity. Only a few people sought shelter this time around. But what if there's a more powerful storm down the road?
We only have so much capacity, but we're going to have to make that hard decision of what is the risk versus reward. Is it safer to put more people in a shelter and take a chance of being exposed where we're bringing PPE, or leaving them in harm's way and, possibly getting killed or injured from a storm?
Just northeast in New Hanover County, Emergency Management Director Stephen Still expressed confidence in how they handled the hurricane.
We feel that it was a right-sized, targeted approach for this storm.
Rather than open a traditional shelter, they worked to help people get access to non-congregant housing, like hotels. But if there's a bigger storm, COVID could make things complicated, especially if they have to open a shelter facility or help evacuate people ahead of time.
If I have 4 transit vans, transit buses, and they generally hold 35 passengers, now I can only hold 15. That's not a lot of people for a population of 240,000.
Both leaders indicated to me that part of the strategy going forward will continue to be encouraging folks to evacuate to a friend's or relative's home rather than to a shelter, thereby reducing the chance of widespread transmission of the virus. In Washington, Kevin Fry, Spectrum News 1.